shall I go? What shall I do?
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Behave yourselves!
Hello, YouTubers out there. This is Jerry Saravia at the movies. So today we're taking a look at Steven Soderbergh's new film, Black Bag. And this is sort of an espionage suspense thriller to a certain extent, with a lot more dramatic moments, but certainly not nearly as good as anything such as A Tale of Panama, which came out back in 2001, that starred Pierce Brosnan, who's also in this film. So in terms of spy espionage drama, this is not really one of the best, and frankly, some of it kind of bored me, sorry to say. So, who we have here is Michael Fassbender, who lately has been playing robotic characters, characters who don't have really much emotion, kind of like the android that he played in Prometheus. Except he seems to keep doing this sort of thing. I don't know why. A couple of years ago, it was The Killer, where he had the lead role as a assassin, and he just played it with complete emotional detachment. Now, that makes sense in that picture, but in this one, I didn't understand why they chose to do that. He's such a very charismatic actor. So anyway, he plays a British intelligence officer or agent, and he is married to someone who's also an intelligence officer, played by Cate Blanchett, who has a lot more sass and sparkle. I mean, it's really difficult for Cate Blanchett to be kind of boring. She can't be. I haven't seen any film that I've seen of her where she's boring. But Michael Fassbender here just seems like a bore. He just didn't interest me one bit. Didn't provoke much interest. So anyway, there's a cyber worm program called Cerberus, and a leak has occurred. So that means there's a mole within the British intelligence. In this case, it's at the National Cyber Security Center. So Michael Fassbender's character, George Woodhouse, has to find out who is the mole. And if you've seen the trailer for this film, it seems to suggest that one of the people that could be the mole is his own wife, played by Cate Blanchett. Once again, her character's name is Catherine. And so that would have been kind of predictable because we've seen that sort of thing before. But in this case, well, without giving away too much, she is not really the mole at all. So anyway, he intends to find the mole. And it could be any one of these people. One of them could be high-strung satellite expert, Clarissa, played by Marissa Abella, who in one scene during a dinner sequence, which is really the best scene in the film, he invites these people to dinner from British intelligence. One of them includes a psychologist, and then a couple of other people who are working, behind the scenes. So he injects a truth serum in the food. And they all start revealing things about themselves, mostly personal things, and who's having an affair with whom, and blah, blah, blah. And then it turns out that Clarissa's boyfriend, the very sardonic Freddie, played by Tom Burke, who could be possibly one of the mole, has been having an affair behind her back. She takes a knife and stabs him in the hand. Right there, I kind of... I thought, you know what, that would be more than enough reason to maybe get a psych test or something on this person who's involved in satellite images and, narrowing down on zooming in to, people that may be involved in something they're not supposed to be because, surveillance and there are cameras everywhere. So you would think she might lose her job based on this little incident. Anyway, so as the film progresses, he's trying to find the mole. And Pierce Brosnan is sort of the director in command of this group and trying to find out who also infiltrated Cerberus, and we might think he might have something to do with it. And Pierce Brosnan, by the way, gives the best performance in this film, I think. He says so much by doing so little. He's actually become a far more interesting actor now than when he first started out, in the days of Remington Steele or the James Bond pictures. There's been rumor that they want to try to bring him back as Bond. I don't know about that, but that might be far more interesting than you can imagine with him now. But I don't know if he will do that at his age. Who knows? But anyway, so that's kind of what the film deals with. And but the problem is that the scenes they play out in the driest manner possible. They didn't hold my attention, and I wasn't expecting explosions or a lot of, fireworks of any kind, because this is not that kind of movie. This is not an action picture. And it's hark back to the type of films that would have been made from novels by Robert Ludlum or John le Carré, that kind of thing. Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy came to mind a lot while watching this film, because that's also about finding a mole within a certain intelligence group. But here, it was too dry. And also, the one thing I really didn't like, Steven Soderbergh, every shot in this film, which he served as the film cinematographer as well, is bleached out, and it's just too much. The dinner scenes, there are two of them, which are really quite good. They're the best sequences in the movie. Those are handled with a little more intimate lighting. The whole film, of course, was shot on HD widescreen, but that bleached out look just annoyed me after a while. I couldn't deal with it. It was kind of like a fog, like a haze through the entire film. And some movies that can work, if you're trying to evoke something dreamlike, I would think that would work. But here, no, it just doesn't work. I wanted more crisp images. You know what I mean? It didn't suit the material, I thought. Everything is hazy, so therefore the plot is hazy, so that dictates the style this way. I don't think so, but that's just my opinion. But I also couldn't believe Fassbender and Cate Blanchett as a married couple. It just wasn't believable. I always thought that she got the upper hand in doing something, or was involved in something deceitful against him. He seems like more of the straight arrow. But Michael Fassbender was boring in this movie. He just wasn't interesting. I just couldn't really... I like his voice. I like his charisma. But that, you got to play things with a little more restraint, of course, for this type of material. But this is just too much, going too far in the other direction here. So that's just my opinion on that. Marissa Abella as Clarissa, she really lights up the screen. She has a very invigorating presence. And of course, as I mentioned, Pierce Brosnan. But writer David Coep, who wrote this film and also wrote, Spider-Man, Indiana Jones, stuff like that, he's the wrong person to write this type of thriller. The wrong screenwriter. He doesn't infuse much importance into anything, no gravitas towards anything that happens in this story. And it's just been done to death. The idea of a married spy couple, we've seen it. It's been done. I mean, I'm not saying you can't find a new wrinkle, but here I didn't see it. Other than, can a married, spy couple, mind you, working in intelligence, will they be honest to each other when they know that in their jobs, deceit has to sort of rule the day a little bit, right? And manipulation, that sort of thing. And that would have been fascinating if they explored that. Like, how is this married couple together? How do they deal with each other, knowing that they're, of course, both in intelligence? It's not like they're keeping it a secret from each other. They're working in the same place. But the movie doesn't have any of that. And the plot itself, dealing with this program that could lead to a nuclear meltdown and some Russian targets, and I just, didn't interest me one bit. I could care less. So this movie almost put me to sleep. I just couldn't, except for the two dinner sequences. And again, this actress, Marissa Abella, and Pierce Brosnan, not enough to recommend this picture at all. So fairly mediocre, but my God, it was such a high-powered cast. I expected it to be much more ambitious than what we got. So even at an hour and a half, which is an unusual running time nowadays, this movie just still doesn't quite deliver. And again, I wasn't expecting this to be an action picture. I mentioned two authors and similar kinds of films, like The Tale of Panama, which I certainly would recommend to anybody if you haven't seen it, also based on a book. That is far better than this. So anyway, those are my thoughts. Tell me yours. Have you seen Black Bag? What do you think of it? What do you think of Michael Fassbender? Do you agree that maybe lately he's been playing characters who just have no emotional depth whatsoever? It's kind of strange. It just seems to me that that's the case. Anyway, those two actors are just not enough to save this picture. But if you've seen it, let me know. And give me your thoughts. Tell me what you think. If you're a new subscriber to this channel, thank you. I do write movie reviews, and sometimes I talk about them on this channel. Movies old and new and somewhere in between. And also movie-related topics. And if you've already subscribed to my channel, thank you very much. I did receive at least 4 or 5 more subscribers. That's not bad. I think I have over 6,400 subscribers. That's not bad at all for this channel. And I guess that's all I got to say about that. Please hit like and subscribe. And that's about it. And this is Jerry Saravia at the Movies, signing off.